In October, a Rio Linda tire dump caught fire, sending flames into the night sky. Officials ordered the dump be cleaned up, but today the mounds of tires remain.
There is a very large fire hazard as well as health hazards sitting out there.
I'm Jennifer Smith, and coming up on my follow-up file report, we'll see what's being done to clean this up.
Jennifer Smith's follow-up file, Monday at 11 on News 10 Tonight, working in the spirit of California.
There's a feeling that you can't get anywhere.
I taste 1,000 pleasure days,
And I love the magic ways
of Fulan. From across the countryside,
We share the growing pride.
Together, touch the sky.
So when the waters flow, you let us come back home.
we're all good neighbors passing by.
Makes no difference where I go. You're the best place that I know.
The original 10 o'clock news. You're watching Fox 5 News at 10 with John Huck and Shelley Bruner.
More last-minute motions in the Ted Binion murder trial.
The defense is trying to throw...
Live on Global, NewsHour Finals top story.
A man twice convicted of growing marijuana has had his house taken away by police. A police officer involved in a fatal crash is charged with careless driving. And a local conservative gets his party into hot water over some controversial comments.
And now, NewsHour Final with Jill Kropp.
Good evening. RCMP and Surrey say they're waging a war.
Tonight on the WB Las Vegas News at 10.
Immunization rates are on the rise, but so are the number of vaccines. What's required for kids in Clark County? That story straight ahead.
For Gladstone, they say they came to the U.S. for freedom and opportunity, but what kind of opportunity? And imagine calling 911 and hearing this.
Good evening and thanks for choosing the WB Las Vegas News at 10. I'm Rachel Smith. Welcome.
From CBC News, Canada Now.
I'm Bruce Rainey. In the news tonight, final.
You're watching VI News now with more on tonight's top story as the inquiry begins to investigate.
You're watching the new VI. Catch AFV Sundays at 7 on the new VI.
This is Euronews. The headlines.
Dark day for Opel. German car.
Tonight on Global News at 11, another security breach affecting hundreds of passengers at Halifax Airport. And up in smoke, a blaze hits a Halifax apartment building again. Good evening, everyone. Our two top stories tonight center around the Halifax International Airport. In a moment.
Live from Edmonton, CFRN News with Carrie Dahl and Daryl McIntyre.
Good evening. A deadly start to the flu season here in...
Good evening. I'm Baden Langton.
And Peter Jennings for CTV National News.
While news is NTV Newsday.
afternoon, everyone. Some light drizzle outside our studios here in St. John's right now.
Straight ahead on Gold 33 News at 7.
Coming up, we're going to talk about the rain moving into the area. We could see some heavy downpours moving through by tomorrow. Details in just a bit.
And I'm Morris Jones. Also ahead tonight, Arnold is advocating for stem cell research. And we can import Canadian drugs, but what about the flu vaccine?
Good Tuesday night, and thanks for joining us for your only local news at 7 o'clock. I'm Rachel Smith. Well,
Live from the CKPG Information Center, broadcasting to Prince George and the Central Interior, because it matters to you. PGTV News Central begins now.
Good evening. The government is rolling back the provincial sales tax. Finance Minister Gary Collins made the announcement in the legislature today before the start of question period.
You're watching PGTV, bringing CBC television to British Columbia's northern capital.
This is Thunder Bay Television, everywhere you are.
Hello and welcome to First News at 5. I'm Lindsay Arnone. Britain has a...
Global news, first at 5:30. Here is Leslie Roberts.
And good evening. It is a superbug with a deadly reputation, and tonight...
From our National News Center, Global National, here's Kevin Newman.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. There isn't a province in this country that has...
ਪੁਲ ਤੇ ਚੜੇ ਵਿਅਕਤੀਆਂ ਕਾਰਨ ਆਵਾਜਾਈ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਰੀ ਵਿਘਨ।
ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਨੁਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸੰਧੂ ਪਾਮਰਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਬੁਲੇਟਿਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਨਿੱਘਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ।
시청자 여러분 안녕하십니까? 채널M 한국어 뉴스 주호석입니다.
Tonight.
Now that you're gone, I can still feel you near.
A final farewell for 6-year-old Gary Henry. The abduction of aid worker Margaret Hassan hits close to home.
Oh, Canada.
And no hockey? No problem. They're still trying to make the team.
This is Global News at 11. Here is Kristen Firth.
Good evening. Dog lovers took their anger over the...
Now, live from the Como 4 newsroom, this is First News at 4.
Good afternoon and welcome to First News at 4. We're going to be here every day live.
And what a day it has been. This morning, we still didn't know for sure who had won the election. The Republicans were.
Tonight, Manitobans paid tribute to those who sacrificed for our country. Also tonight, Deer Lodge residents speak out about a strike at their residence. And a man who reconnects families ripped apart by war.
CKY News.
Good evening. A chilly day didn't stop thousands of people from attending a variety of Remembrance Day services.
Hey, watch 10. Stay with 10. Hey, watch 10. TV 10. 10 keeps bringing it home to you. Bringing it home to you.
KSN 16, your hometown news at 10, with Jim Jackson, Tiffany Alanis, meteorologist Gary Vandy, and Sean Terrell Sports.
One person is dead and several others are in critical condition after an early afternoon accident on a busy four-state interstate. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Courtney Culler, Jim and...
From your hometown news source, this is the WICS News Channel 20 Weekend Report.
The Saudis strike back after an American...
Live from the capital of Illinois, you're watching Chad Mahoney, Anita Roman, weather with TJ Hart, and Steve Briggs with sports. This is the WICS News Channel 20 Weekend Report.
Pharmaceutical companies have chosen the macho sport world for...
ANOP TV, North Platte, coverage you can count on. This is News 2 Tonight.
Tonight's headlines: on a rampage, a man in a bulldozer destroys property and fires gunshots in a small Colorado town.
But
needs. Channel 12, WSFA, Montgomery. From Alabama's News Center, this is WSFA News 12, the 10 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Bob Howell.
And I'm Lynn Sampson. It was unanimous today at a public hearing in Montgomery. No one...
Good evening, I'm Lisa Morrison.
And I'm Stuart Maddox. Thank you for joining us this evening. County officials expect a high turnout for next Tuesday's property tax election. Voters 1873.
That's all the news we have for this evening. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night.
Complete news, weather, and sports for the Tri-State. From WFIE TV, this is Newswatch.
Good evening, I'm David James. A train...
Fred Rogan, Fritz Coleman. Fred is all sports. Fritz is all weather. Fred is all show. Fritz is something else. If it sweats, hooks, or steals, Fred will show it to you, because when it comes to sports, nobody puts on a show like Air Fred. Fritz, on the other hand, is the Prince of Weather. Fritz and Fred, good sports through all kinds of weather.
See you back here tomorrow.
Good night.